All right. I'm going to get started. So, hello, everyone. I'm Anne Marie Tracy. I'm the Director of Marketing Solutions here at Paperless Parts. And thank you for spending your lunch with me. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's affecting every industry, including manufacturing, and that's AI search. Our agenda for today. My goal is simple to give you some clarity and practical guidance no matter where you are in your marketing journey. We're going to be talking about what has changed, what hasn't, what you can control, and what you can't, and what realistic progress looks like. We'll run through some FAQs and then have an opportunity at the end to answer your questions. Right. So, search. Search has fundamentally changed with the rise of AI and large language models. I know my search behavior has changed dramatically, and I'm sure many of you would say yours has as well. Buyers are no longer just typing in keywords in Google or Bing and clicking blue links. Engineers are asking AI tools really deep technical questions. Procurement teams are comparing certifications and capabilities before they complete any outreach. And Google is showing summaries instead of just links. By the time someone sends you an RFQ or reaches out, they may have already asked an AI platform who the top suppliers are that will meet their needs. They may have compared equipment, capabilities, certifications. May have vetted your business in order to narrow down their options. And the fact is, you may never know if AI influenced if you were considered for a project or not. And that's a really big shift. So let's make this simple. Let's just look at the old model versus the new model. In the old model, it was all about ranking. If you showed up on page one, you won. Search queries looked something like precision machining services near me. They were more choppy, keyword-focused phrases, and they were intended to return options that included those terms on their website. Search engines would return 10 plus blue links based on those keywords, and businesses were competing for page one or top results. Ranking ruled. But now, things have changed. AI is synthesizing answers to really deep, technical, layered questions like the one that you see here on the slide. In the older model, search may have really struggled with this query. It's too much, it's too specific, but not anymore. Because AI will summarize answers to really detailed questions like these, and it can do it really fast. It's providing users with direct answers, so clicking isn't always even necessary for people to get the information that they need. It recommends a short list, not a ranked list that goes on and on. And because of these shifts, visibility is somewhat compressed because fewer sources are actually shown online for queries. And in this new search world, broad and vague is going to get lost, but specific will get surfaced. So, why does this matter for manufacturers? AI can only recommend what it can see or surface. I have talked to many manufacturers over the years, and over the course of my discovery conversation, realized that the details that they know and share about their business, their goals, their industries, their capabilities do not match their actual digital footprint. Your businesses evolve, and if your website and any associated platforms aren't matching your goals, they're not matching your audience or your business plans, well, then you're not attracting right fit customers or prospects. And it's not aligned with success in the era of AI search. So just think about it. And here's my two examples on the slide. Would you ever put a billboard on the highway near your shop showcasing outdated or vague information about your business? Of course you wouldn't. And in 2026, your online presence is your billboard. AI can only surface what it can verify and then connect to reality. And if your expertise isn't really clear and documented online, AI will not be able to confidently surface or recommend you. So, a big piece of this is understanding what you can control versus what you can't. There are things that we cannot control in this new search era. We cannot control AI training data. We cannot control how many citations AI shows. We cannot control that there are billion-dollar suppliers that have massive digital footprints who might be taking up a lot of the space. We can't control that visibility is compressed, and we can't control that this new model reduces organic clicks in some ways. But that's okay. It's also important for you to recognize that you don't need to win Best Manufacturer in America. Although maybe some of you, that's a long-term goal for you, or maybe that's something you're working towards. But ultimately, you need to win in your niche, in the specifics. So here's what you can control. You can control how clearly your capabilities are defined online, how specific your positioning is related to your target audience. You can control how well your certifications are documented and if they're updated. How much proof you publish. That's a big one. Are you consistently putting out proof that backs up who you say you are? You can control whether you're answering real engineering questions and buyer questions that will resonate. And ultimately, you can control whether you are building and curating a digital credibility over time. All of those things are controllable for you. So what does AI actually reward? AI doesn't simply reward keywords anymore. It's rewarding credibility, specificity, okay, which is a really tricky word to say, and I have that. I may say it a few more times. It rewards authority and proof. And all of this connects to Google's EEAT framework, which is experience, which is demonstrating practical knowledge in your field, expertise, specialized knowledge or skills that are related to specific topics, authoritativeness. Are you recognized and considered a reliable source? And trustworthiness. Is the content that you publish and share accurate and honest, which is crucial. For engineers and buyers using AI to research, AI isn't replacing their trust, it's filtering for it. And they're providing a shortlist. And for manufacturers, this is actually good news. And I'm going to tell you why. You operate in a really technical, compliance-driven environments where details matter. And AI search is well suited for that type of information. If your expertise is clearly documented, AI search can work in your favor. So I broke this down into pillars of visibility. One thing I want to make note of is that optimizing for AI does not mean writing for robots. I've had many people ask that of me, should I write specifically for AI? No, you really need to consider the human element. If it's impactful, helpful, if it resonates with humans, it is going to be the right fit content for AI for you. What this all means is you need to be incredibly clear, especially in a high-stakes B2B environment like manufacturing, because trust is essential. People are not impulse buying precision parts. So building that trust online really matters. Pillar 1 is clarity. Be incredibly specific. Your industries that you want to serve or you do serve, materials, the material expertise you have, certifications that you hold and you constantly are working towards renewing, tolerances, volume. Get in the weeds there. Pillar 2 is authority. Write technical articles, case studies, which are AKA proof, right? I know that sometimes CUI is a really big concern and privacy is a concern in this industry when writing case studies. And that is something that we completely understand. But even if you can tell a story that's anonymized and not sharing any type of protected information, but just sharing how you helped someone win, how you took a problem and solved it, that's proof. Deep capability pages that, again, get into the weeds, get into the details, share that deep knowledge that you have. And structured FAQs and frequently asked questions are a really, really great piece to have on your website and part of your digital footprint. Audience-driven content is absolutely critical that you know your targets in depth, their pain points, their needs, and whether that's for new customers or for existing customers that you're looking to expand business with. You might not have just one audience. You might have multiple audiences that you need to be attracting. Make sure you know who they are. And here's a tip. Ask your customer-facing team or your sales team, or whoever's dealing with customers directly, what questions are you getting asked over and over and over again? Because that can be your roadmap. The answers to those questions should live online, whether they're in focused articles or in your FAQs. That is addressing the needs of your audience. Trust signals. Update your content. I have found a website recently that still had COVID guidance on it. And, if you think about it, what type of signal is that sending? It's making people question you. What else on this website is outdated? And I know that might be an extreme example. However, take a look and make sure that your website isn't sending subtle messages that, hey, this might not be updated. This might not be accurate. Testimonials are huge. Your customers are excellent sources of trust signals. Ask them. Ask them for testimonials. Ask them to leave you a review on your Google business page. Ask them for anything that can help you tell your story. Make sure your content is technically accurate. Okay, it has to be correct, which is pretty obvious. It's not about being flashy or being the loudest. It's about being really, really credible in your field. So I get asked this question frequently that I felt it deserved its own slide. Is SEO dead? And my answer is no. SEO is not dead, but search is no longer just about ranking like it was before. SEO was always about increasing visibility, and that has not changed at all. But AI systems will still rely on SEO indexed content, the authority signals that you have built through those past efforts, all the SEO best practices that you followed, the backlinks you built, the crawlability of your site, your blog posts, your case studies, your capability pages, industry pages, all of that matters. All of the effort that you did before is working in your favor. And the AI optimization is just another layer. It's building upon it. So this isn't a big reset button here. We're just talking about understanding what's happening now and how to adjust for it. So where can small to mid-sized shops win? So here's the good news. And I know this slide might be a little tricky to see depending upon the size of your screen, but smaller shops can win in specificity. There's that word again. If you enter, and this is an example, so I hope that you can see this here. If you enter a broad query, and I used chat, such as what are the best machine shops in America? A bunch of large tier 1 suppliers show up, and they're not on that slide. I cut that piece out. But who's not always showing up with a vague, broad question like that are 35-person shops who are doing phenomenal work, but they're doing it quietly. And why? It's not bias, it's their digital footprint. And again, we can't control that. But as you can see on this slide, after it went past the first initial group, which again, I know I cut out, ChatGPT prompts the user to be more specific. It wants to know more details. It wants to know, okay, are you looking regionally? Do you need certifications? Are you looking for a specific, type of supplier? What capabilities do you need? Do they need to hold certain certifications? It wants the details in order to make the best recommendations. So winning, okay, doesn't have to be I'm the best machine shop in America, although that would be amazing to win that, obviously. Winning can be a trusted AS 9100 certified CNC machine shop for low volume aerospace. Okay, that's where you can win, is in those nitty gritty details. When people find you with that level of specificity, okay, they come to you feeling confident that you can meet their needs. That is a level that is achievable, and that's where you can win. So, some tactical steps to take. This will really depend on where you are in your marketing journey. So, I guess we can think of this a little bit as a ladder. Rung 1, visibility. At the very least, if you're a new company, if you're rebranding, if you're at the beginning of your journey, crawlable website, clear, structured content that considers your target audience. Okay. All those things are really important. Build that foundational content. Okay. The next rung, authority. sharing expert content and proof. You're building on the basics. And then rung 3, which is what we all want to get to, is being recommended and included and surfaced in AI. And there you need to dig in. Consistency, you can't stop. So even if you've been doing this for a little while, review your older efforts for accuracy. You want to be surfaced in the right fit queries, and eventually you want to be shortlisted. So like I said before, it's not a reset button. Everywhere is somewhere in this journey, and wherever you aren't behind, but you need to recognize where you currently stand and what your needs are in order to address how to go forward. So again, just some quick tips here for if you're more established, okay? If you've been doing this for a while, double down, right? Refine your positioning, increase the specifics on your website, update outdated content. And this is a big one. This is something that people don't, this could be a really big win for those of you who have a lot of content that maybe is 3-4 years old. Go back and look at it. I guarantee it's outdated. And updating it for now, updating it for your current business and saying that it's updated is a really big opportunity. Just tightening what already exists. Strengthen your authority signals. Ask for reviews. Find ways to develop backlinks. Join a podcast. Do an episode. Find ways to build, again, that trust that you have the right to talk about what you're talking about. And you can modernize your site structure and messaging depending, again, on what you have to work with. If you're really early in your journey, there's other things to focus on. But first, you need to define your niche and your target audience. You need to know exactly who you're trying to go after. Build foundational content that aligns with that audience, but also aligns with your business goals. You can develop 10 to 20 FAQs. Again, like I talked about before, chat with your customer-facing team or the people who are on the floor. Their input can be gold, right? Knowing what they know and knowing what they're seeing and answering every day, day in and day out. Develop a case study if possible and share that proof. Prioritize clarity over vague volume. It's all about precision, okay? You'd rather have a really strong article than 20 that were vague and weren't necessarily doing you any favors. Okay. So again, I feel very strongly about this, obviously my role, but marketing your business will always be a journey. It's never going to be something that you just do and walk away from, because as your business is evolving, your marketing needs to stay in lockstep with that. And it needs to make sure that you're aligning your marketing efforts with where your business is headed. So measuring success. Obviously, you need to figure out a way to understand what's happening out there. You measure AIO success the same way you would measure any good marketing. Are you having qualified visibility? Is there a positive pipeline impact? Are you getting strong leads that are right fit for your business? AI reduces random browsing and it can increase those niche matches. So your traffic quality is higher, and that's a good sign. Are your leads coming to you more informed? Are they referencing that they know things about you or they read articles? Is it really obvious that they vetted you ahead of time? Look for qualified traffic. You might have fewer visitors, but if they're the right fit, that's not a problem. Okay. Maybe they're in better industries, more aerospace, more medical. Maybe it's more of the work you want. Maybe it's complex assemblies, or maybe it's in Inconel. Whatever it is that matters to your business or wherever you're trying to push, you want the traffic that's coming through to be aligned with what you want to be doing in your business. RFQ quality, again, right fit inquiries. You want buyers coming to you that feel confident you can support their needs. You want to see fewer mismatches. Are you showing up with specific capability and industry combinations? Again, getting into the really detailed, I need this, and you can deliver it to me. And then ask for sales feedback. Are they hearing things like, oh, we found you through AI, which we're starting to see within our customer base. We researched you before reaching out. Oh, you came up when we searched for this. Find out those details. And for paperless parts customers out there on your Smart RFQ form, here's a little tip in case you didn't realize it. Review the "How did you hear about us?" question on your Smart RFQ. There's some great details in there, and it's something that I often look for my customers, wanting to know how people are hearing about them. Remember that success isn't just a lot more noise, more traffic right now. That's not what success is about. It's about the right buyers finding you, trusting you, and then shortlisting you and reaching out. The lead All of that will lead to better conversations and then ultimately better opportunities for your business. And something to note, and to be perfectly honest, lead attribution in AI is imperfect. And I know that. Everybody knows that. There's platforms out there trying to keep up. Things are moving so very fast. But buyer behavior is already shifting. So waiting for that perfect tracking is not really a strong plan. There are ways you can leverage Google Analytics or other platforms to track AI traffic, but right now, traffic can show up as direct, referral, unknown. So, again, to be honest, it might never be perfect because platforms are always evolving and they have to keep up. So, don't wait for that perfect measuring device in order to start working towards this new reality. So, bottom line, AI is influencing who gets introduced to you, okay, in this new search model. And even a smaller, well structured, consistently updated, accurate digital presence can outperform a large, vague one. So the advantage doesn't just go to the biggest, it will go to the clearest. And that clarity is where you really need to lean in hard. So I don't know if there's any questions. I'm sorry. I'd be happy to get to them. I just wanted to start a little bit by sharing some frequently asked questions that I get all the time, and I thought that might be some things that might be on your minds. So, how long does it take? I get that a lot, right? Slow, steady authority building is real growth, and industrial marketing is a long game. It's never been set it and forget it. I think I said that before. You don't just do it and walk away. It's always evolving and building, just like your business. Think 6 to 12 months to see meaningful authority shifts if you are doing consistent activities that are consistently building that authority, building that credibility, and expanding your digital footprint in the right direction. Okay. Marketing's in a box you check, right? And that authority that you build will compound over time. So that consistency is so very important. I often get asked, how much content do we need? And to be honest, there's no magic number. It's about precision and specificity. So keep in mind, I think I said this before, two really strong technical articles can outperform 20 generic or vague ones. So if you are concerned about competing with those big brands who might have tons and tons of content out there, remember that AI will favor your clarity, your authority, your specifics. So large brands might have that volume. And again, there's nothing we can do about that. Smaller manufacturers can have precision. And if you clearly define, you can compete. You absolutely can compete within your target audience. What about social media? I get this one a lot. Social media supports your authority. It doesn't replace your website, hey, but can strengthen your online's authority signals. Focus on making sure it is consistent and the messaging is mirroring your website messaging, which should hopefully be mirroring your business goals and your target audience's needs. A strong social media cannot solve for a weak website presence. One of the things that in my role here at Paperless, you got to have an amazing social. But if you're pushing to a weak website, there's a disconnect there. Okay. You want to use that social to fuel your website in a positive way. Push to key articles, push to pages, push to what matters right now. And remember that social has a domino effect of people seeing your company. So take advantage of that. Tag partners, tag people you work with. The exposure and awareness and visibility that you can grow online and social can be impactful. But I guess my point is that social media is not a strategy, but it can be part of a really strong strategy. I get asked about paid search. Is it going away? No, I don't think it is. Attention's fragmenting, so it'll be really interesting to see how paid search and boosting and sponsoring and sponsored pages evolve. Some people scroll right past that. Everybody kind of handles that kind of content a little differently, but some people question it because they think, well, they paid to be there. Trust drives decisions here. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens with paid search. I know some people love it, it works for them. I don't know if it's a great standalone strategy, but we'll see what happens. And then the other one I get a lot is, how do I know if AI is sending me leads? Again, look for those signals, ask those questions. Lead attribution is definitely imperfect right now. There are ways that you can see, again, using even a free tool like Google Analytics, where people are coming from. Although, again, they can be put in different traffic buckets and things like that. It's a little tricky, but ask those questions. Ask people how they found you. Ask people what they did in order to get to your business. And then what if I rely on marketplaces for my work? So, marketplaces often have really strong authority because many of them are big and they might have big footprints. But you don't want to rely on their visibility alone. They might be providing you with lots of transactions and your pipeline, but they can't build your brand or your business reputation. So make sure you're still giving your business and your online presence some love, even if you're relying on marketplaces for a chunk or maybe the majority of your work. So those were my frequently asked questions. Not sure if there's any other questions from the audience out here. I know we're running out of time. So if you do have questions, please feel free to, I will respond to all of them, even if I don't get to them right now. But please know that I will absolutely get back to you on any of them. All right. So, power. A few closing things here. First of all, thank you so much for attending. I really, really hope that you found this informative and helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out anytime if you want to learn more. A few closing messages. Power User Conference is coming up here in Boston. Uh, and I cannot stress enough how impactful this conference is. Getting to spend time with our team, learning about how to take advantage of the SaaS platform, networking with others who truly understand your roles. All my clients who have attended have always expressed to me how much value they take away from it every year. It's also really, really two of my favorite days at Paperless. So, really, really strong conference. I hope you will consider attending. And if any of you are interested, we have a new marketing solutions case study coming out soon. You see, at Paperless, we follow our own advice. We're also going to be publishing our proof and credibility. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm glad to hear so many of you have found this helpful. It really makes me happy to hear. Please, again, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.